Hello Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Capricorn, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with all that being said, let's get started. How does Capricorn currently view this relationship? All right, Capricorn. So we do have the Ace of Swords, we do have the Two of Pentacles, and then we also have the King of Pentacles, okay? The bottom of the deck, we do have the Five of Pentacles to the Nine of Swords, and then we also have the Eight of Cups. Interesting. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Empress. It looks like you walked away from this King of Pentacles that you were dealing with. They could have been an earth sign strongly, so a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn like yourself, or an air sign, so a Gemini, Libra possible. We have all the elements out here. Well, outside of fire, but other than that, right? It looks like you walked away, right, from this King of Pentacles. It's interesting because this kind of feels like an energy of the two of you walking away from one another. But I am definitely getting that this masculine energy you were dealing with, they didn't put up a fight. Like this person didn't turn around and said, to you, please, don't walk out of my life. Please don't leave me. Like they didn't put up a fight at all. It just kind of looks like you pulled the plug on this relationship and they were just like, okay, I'll leave now. You know what I mean? It has that type of feel to it, but with that Nine of Swords energy coming out here, this to me just kind of feels like an energy of them kind of like beating themselves up for even walking away from you. Why? I don't know, but I would like to look into it. But it looks like this person's extending themselves to you. And here's why I say all of this. Because you're contemplating if you should even answer their phone call or even text this person back or even email this person back. So they're definitely back and you're trying to like contemplate, okay, like should I respond to them or should I not respond to them? But I really want to look at this energy. Yeah, I want to look at this energy, see what's going on. It's like this person wishes that, they can kind of like travel back into time and not walk away from you and not turn around and give you what you want, right? Which is, the two of you no longer being together from the looks of it. Yeah, it's like this person wishes that they didn't turn around and give you what, you wanted and respected what you wanted, which was, them out of your life. Okay, let's look at the Nine of Swords, shall we? Tell me more about the Nine of Swords. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel like this person's beating themselves up that they didn't put up a fight, that they didn't try to at least like talk to you and fix or repair things with you. We also have Temperance in the reverse. Temperance is a very healing energy. Yeah, it's like this person like wishes like they would have at least tried to talk to you and work things out with you and heal things with you and reconcile with you. Instead of just turning around and being like, oh, you don't want anything to do with me, Capricorn? Oh, okay, well, I'll just leave now. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. Yeah, the Ten of Cups in the reverse. The Eight of Cups always goes to the Ten of Cups. It's like this person is kind of beating themselves up because, because they didn't bother to turn around and put up a fight, they ended up losing everything in the end. You, the life that they once upon a time had with you, the relationship that they once upon a time had with you, and they're kind of beating themselves up because of it. I just keep getting this person wants to just go back into time, man, and just do it all over again. Instead of them just being like, oh, you don't want anything to do with me? Oh, okay, I'll just leave now. Like, they wish they would have done this instead. They wish that they would have talked to you. They wish that they would have worked things out with you. They wish that they would have reconciled with you. They wish that they would have fought to keep their relationship with you intact and afloat. But most importantly, you in their life. Now, what possessed this human to not put up a fight and just get up and walk away? I don't know, but I would like to look into that a little bit more. And then we'll look at this person and see how they're currently viewing this relationship with you. We're already getting a rough idea, right, of how they're viewing their relationship with you. But let's look at the Eight of Cups. Alrighty. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles, interesting. We also have the Seven of Wands in the reverse to the Five of Swords in the reverse. Okay. In regards to why this person decided to just get up and walk away. And this is us going based off of according to them and how they're perceiving the situation and how they feel. So just keep that in mind. You may not agree with how they feel and how they perceive the situation, but just thought I'd let you know, okay? This person feels like they fought really hard to keep their relationship with you, you know, intact and afloat. And it's like this person's looking at you like, now it's your turn to fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat. Not my turn. Like, it has that type of feel to it. I don't know. Like, they're kind of like making it seem like they were the only one fighting to keep this relationship intact and afloat while you weren't. And because of that, they're just like, yeah, I'm not going to fight for it. I'm not going to fight for this because it's Capricorn's turn to fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat because I've been doing this. Now it's their turn. But it kind of looks like when this relationship came to an end, right, between the two of you, because I also feel like this is kind of what they were hoping for. Like, they were kind of hoping that you would try to stop them. They were kind of hoping that was going to, you know, end up happening here, but it kind of looks like that's not what ended up happening here. That's what they wanted, but it kind of looks like that's not what happened. It kind of looks like you didn't turn around and be like, oh no, please don't walk out of my life. Like, no. It kind of looks like you saw this ending between you and this person through, which is the very thing that they didn't want to essentially happen, but that's exactly what happened. And in the end, they ended up losing. They ended up losing you. They ended up losing the life that they had with you, the life that they built with you, the relationship that they had with you. They ended up losing everything. So what they initially thought was going to happen, as far as you trying to stop them from walking out of your life, you know, you trying to like put up a fight to keep this dynamic between the two of you intact and afloat, it kind of looks like you didn't do that. Especially with the Five of Pentacles coming out here. I don't even know why this person would even possibly anticipate / expect for you to do that, because with the Five of Pentacles coming out here, that's a very drained and depleted energy. Very drained and depleted energy. Like, when this entire situation came to an end, you didn't have the energy to fight for this anymore. And I feel like the reason why you didn't have the energy to fight for this anymore is because that's all you've been doing, is fighting, right? To keep this dynamic between the two of you intact and afloat, and everything else that, you know, you needed to like attend to. Because an Empress is somebody who has a lot of like responsibilities. You know, an Empress is somebody who definitely does have a lot on their plate. So it's like that's a lot to ask for, to be honest, from a person, because it's like they expected you to fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat, focus on you, your children if you have any, you know, and then your job or your business, you know, and then, you know, your education for those of you who are in school or still in school. Like, I feel like you already had a lot on your plate, and I feel like your relationship in some way, shape, or form wasn't really making your life easier. It was making it harder, considering everything that you have to do, everything that, considering everything that you already have to do. Because I feel like you're like a very busy woman, or like a very busy man, or you just have like a lot of responsibilities. Because an Empress is somebody who has a lot of responsibilities. So you mean to tell me that the amount of responsibilities you already have that has nothing to do with this person, these are things you have to pour time and energy towards, and then you got to pour time and energy towards them in your relationship, you know, with them on top of that. I feel like it started to become a little too much for you to kind of like manage and handle. Because it's not like they were making the relationship or the marriage or your life easier. It kind of looks like they were making it harder. So no, I don't feel like you had the energy to like turn around and be like, no, please don't walk out of my life. You know, like, I don't feel like you had the energy. Like, maybe you wanted, you know, maybe you wanted to stop this person from walking out of your life, but you just didn't have the energy, you know? And then the fact that we got this out here, like the whole, I've been fighting, now it's Capricorn's turn to fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat. It's kind of like a game of tag, like, tag, you're it, you know? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I feel like this person has like responsibilities. I do. But I don't feel like this person has nowhere near the amount of responsibilities you have. Like, this person comes off to me as somebody who has far more energy, you know, to keep a marriage and a relationship intact and afloat than you do, considering the fact, right, that you have way more responsibilities than they do. But even though they had the energy to turn around and fight for this, like I said, they just chose not to. Because again, this is like a game of tag. Now it's your turn to fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat. Okay, let's keep going, shall we? Now that we got that out the way. Okay, so now I have a rough idea what's going on here. Let's look at this person a little bit more. How does this human currently view? Oh, Jesus. Okay, so they're not really taking this ending between the two of you so well, to say the least. They're very angry. You know, they're very upset. They're very disappointed, and they're very hurt. Okay. Yeah. Very angry, very upset, and very hurt. With the Hermit coming out here, I do feel like, considering the fact, right, that they're not really taking this ending between the two of you so well, because, you know, unfortunately for them, they're not. They've been isolating themselves. Yeah, they've just been locked up in their apartment. They just been locked up in their house. They just been locked up in their room. Is kind of what I'm getting, and just kind of going through, like, you know, the emotions. Now we do know that this person's breaking their silence. Okay, we do know that. It's like this person goes from keeping their distance from you, not saying anything at all, to deciding to not keep their distance from you and just extend themselves to you, causing you to have to make a decision. Are you going to break your silence and say something to this person, or are you not? The choice is entirely up to you, my friend, but let's look at this person and see how they feel. We have the Knight of Swords, we have the World, okay? And then we also have the King of Cups. This relationship, I don't know why it reminds me of like a fucking game of tag. Like, tag, you're it, you know what I mean? Like, it's like tag, now they're it, you know what I mean? Now it's their turn, you know what I mean? To like get you back. Now it's their turn to put up a fight to keep you and this relationship that they once upon a time had with you, you know, intact and afloat. It just feels like a game of tag. It's fascinating. I don't know why it's like this, but it's definitely like very much so like a game of tag. Like, you know what's interesting? You know what I'm also getting to is that when you were putting up a fight, right, to keep this relationship intact and afloat, I could be wrong, but with these three cards coming out here for you, it's kind of making me feel like that's kind of what's going on here. When you were the one putting up a fight to keep this relationship intact and afloat, it's like this person was like, and, you know, just not really bothering to like try to repair the relationship, improve the relationship. It's like they were just kind of sitting, you know, on their rear end doing nothing to improve their marriage and a relationship with you. It's like the epitome, right, of walking around a marriage and a relationship as if you don't really care about it. Like, it doesn't matter to you anymore. Which could explain why you were so drained and depleted, because you were the only one fighting, right, to keep this relationship intact and afloat, while they were just sitting on their rear end doing nothing, right, to improve the marriage, improve the relationship, right? So now that you've officially reached this point of, I just can't do this anymore, nor do I want to, nor do I have the energy to, it's like now they want to like put up a fight. Now they want to get you back. And now that they want to get you back, it's like, you're just like, no, you know, like now that they want to put up a fight, you're just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just going to sit here, you know, and focus on me and do what I got to do. It's like a game of tag. Like, when you want to repair the relationship and improve the relationship, they don't feel like it. You know what I mean? When they want to, you know, improve the relationship or improve the marriage or make the marriage work or make the relationship work, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's like a game of tag. How weird. How weird. Okay. How does Capricorn, let's see. Yeah, this person's overpowering the reading, honey. They're overpowering the reading. And the fact that they're overpowering the reading, that's kind of telling me that they're pouring a lot of their time and a lot of their energy towards trying to like salvage their marriage with you, salvage their relationship with you, get you back in the life that they once upon a time had with you back. Like this is like the epitome of going all out, which is kind of making me feel like that's exactly what you did when you were with them. Like you were like the one that was just like going all out to try to salvage the marriage, salvage the relationship, improve it to the best of, you know, your ability, right? And they were just sitting around like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't feel like fighting for this. No, I'm good. You know, I'd rather do this, that, and the third than to do this with you, Capricorn. We have the Page of Cups. We also have the King of Swords, and then we also have the Five of Cups. I am getting an apology coming from this person to you in reference to like how they went about this relationship. It's like this person knows that they were dead wrong for going about this relationship the way that they were going about it. Because at the end of the day, and this is just acting as a double confirmation, you tried. You try to talk to them. You try to improve things here between you and them. You try to make the relationship work. And it kind of looks like they've been reflecting a lot on that. Like, damn, like Capricorn really did try to fix things with me. They try to talk to me. They try to like, you know, make things better with me. And, you know, I was just a real douche towards them. You know, it's like they look at you like they were giving you a hard time because they were. And they have a lot of regret in reference to that. But I don't think I've ever seen a dynamic like this before, like in a, you know, in a reading. I don't even think I've seen this in real life now that I think about it, but it's like a game of tag. Like, you know, when they want to fix things, you don't want to fix things. When you want to fix things, they don't want to fix things. When they want to talk, you don't want to talk. When you want to talk, they don't want to talk. Like, you know what I mean? Interesting. All right, in regards to how you plan on moving forward, homie, we do have the Death card, we do have the Three of Swords, and then we also have the Chariot. I feel like you've already moved into a place of acceptance in reference to your relationship with this person. You're accepting the fact that things are never going to change and or improve between the two of you, and you're also accepting the fact that it is in your best interest to walk away from this entire situation and never look back. So with that being said, you're very determined to walk away from this entire situation. No matter how much it may hurt you, you're very determined to walk away from this entire situation. The fact that the Three of Swords is coming out here is kind of telling me that there's still a very strong and intense emotional attachment that you have towards this person, but like in your head, which I kind of like the way you're spinning it to yourself, which honestly, I feel like I'm learning something here, but it's the way that you're spinning this to yourself. Like, even though it sucks and it hurts and it breaks your heart to like walk away from this entire situation and never look back, you rather go through this temporary pain than a lifetime of like misery and suffering. Okay. I feel like I'm learning something, Capricorn. I feel like you're teaching me something. Yeah, you're right. You know, now I think about it, because if you had to pick and choose between living a life of suffering and misery, then some temporary, you know, pain, you know, yeah, I guess it is best to go down the route of just experiencing some temporary pain than a lifetime of misery and suffering. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got a point. Yeah, I agree. What actions? What actions will this person take? Alrighty, we got the Fool. We got the Tower. And then we also have the Five of Pentacles. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, it is a game of, I feel like it legit is like a game of tag, because, you know, here they are, right? Trying to fix and repair things here with you. And here you are through their perspective, right? Through their perspective, giving them a hard time, making this more difficult, making this more challenging, you know, for them. And, you know, how that's not fair, because look, they're trying to fix things and repair things here with you. And look, you know, you're just, you know, pushing them away and, you know, giving them a hard time and, you know, things of that nature. But I feel like you're kind of doing the both of you a solid, is what this kind of feels like and looks like. But I don't think that they see it that way. I really don't think that they see it that way. But you're really doing this. You're doing yourself a favor, but you're also doing them a favor. You're basically doing you guys both like, a solid, but they don't see it that way. I think that as far as like acceptance is concerned, like I said, dude, I think that you came into acceptance about your relationship, with this person, in reference to things never changing between the two of you, this person not being good, for you, and this dynamic not being good for you. Like, I feel like you've already came to terms with that and you've already accepted that. Hence why going back is just not an option in your mind. It's just not an option in your mind, because you'll be going right back to dealing with things you don't want to deal with, going through things you don't want to go through. Totally understandable. But see, this one over here, it's like I feel like they have yet to come into terms of acceptance, right? When it comes down to you and their relationship with you. I mean, we have the devil out here, you guys. Okay? The devil has two people chained to him. So that's kind of telling me that yes, to a certain extent, you were affected by this relationship in a very negative way, and so were they. Now, granted, the way that you were negatively affected by this relationship may be different from the way that they were negatively affected by this relationship, but this is insinuating that even though the two of you might be really, really good people, you guys may not be good for one another, and that's like a real thing. Sometimes people experience that. Sometimes, people bring out the worst in us. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Maybe you brought out the worst in them, and maybe they brought out the worst in you. It is what it is. Point that I'm making is that they have yet to move into a place of acceptance of that. Because they're too, like, how do I explain this person, man? Like, I just feel like they're too, I don't even know how to say that in English. Damn. I really need to figure out how to say that. I don't even know how to say that in English. They're very, yes, in love, but there's like another word, but I just don't know how to say it in English. I don't really know how to say it in Spanish, but they're very, very much so in love with you, but they're very, very much so like attached to like you and what they see themselves having with you and what they think this relationship could be one day. Like, they're very, like, I almost want to say obsessed with it, like obsessed with the life they see with you. You know what I mean? The relationship they can see themselves having with you. They're kind of like obsessed with it. Yeah, they're kind of obsessed with it. But if it's one thing that I will say is that, and I'm not going to take this from them, I think that you are somebody who means a lot to them. I think that you are somebody that they're very much so, in love with and very, very emotionally attached to. I'm not going to take that away from them. I do believe that this is somebody who's very much so in love with you. I just kind of feel like, it's unfortunate, but I just kind of feel like you don't necessarily feel like that's true, because I'm kind of getting that strongly. I feel like when you look at this person, you look at this person as somebody who never loved you, never really cared about you. You may also feel like, you may also feel too, Capricorn, like you never really mattered to this person. And I can understand why you would, look at them in such a manner. I mean, with the devil coming out here to the Five of Swords, to the Five of Wands, like, it just kind of looks like you guys both kind of put each other through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they would hurt you and then you would turn around and hurt them. I'm getting a lot of tit for tat for sure. A lot of fighting, a lot of, arguments, a lot of disagreements, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. So I feel like you guys have definitely put one another through it. You know what I mean? For sure, without a shadow of a doubt. And I can understand why it's hard for you to think, believe, and feel like this person really does love you and like this person really does, care about you. But but I will say that they definitely do. I just kind of feel like there were times, where you would say something to hurt them and then they would say something to hurt you, or you would do something to hurt them and they'll turn around and do something to hurt you, vice versa. They'll do something to hurt you, you'll turn around and do something to hurt them. You know what I mean? And I think that it caused, the both of you to look at one another differently. But there is no denying the fact that the love is still very much so here. I just kind of feel like even though the love is very much so here and it's influencing them to fight for it, it's encouraging you not to, It's encouraging you not to. Because I think that you kind of know, dude. Like, you're really being the more like mature yeah, and responsible person in all of this. Like, you know, right? That if you guys were to revisit this ever again, there's just going to be more pain and suffering to be experienced, you know? And you don't want to go through that. You know what I mean? You don't want to go through that. And you don't want it to get to that point where this person's making you angry and upset. And here you are doing things out of spite. Here you are doing things to hurt them and things of that nature. Like, you don't want to do that to them because you love them. You do love them. And they love you. Y'all both love each other. You know what I mean? Because again, two very, very good people. Two very good people that we're seeing here. I just kind of feel like it's one of those things where it's like, they bring out the worst in you and you bring out the worst in them. And then, you know, it's like you guys go from being extremely great for one another to being not so great for one another. But I think that you've already came to terms with that. You've accepted the fact that, you know what, I probably do bring out the worst in this man, or I probably do bring out the worst in this woman, and they bring out the fucking worst in me. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. We're two good people, just not good for one another, you know? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? But I will give them that. I'm not going to take this away from them. I think that they are very much so in love with you. And I think that the love that they have for you, there's just no stopping that. There's just no turning that off. You know what I mean? And there is no walking away from this either. You see what I mean? But I think that you are definitely doing the both of you a favor. They're just not going to see it that way. They're not going to see it that way, but they're very attached to you and what they want with you and what they can see themselves having with you. And I think that this person is definitely going to get really angry and upset because here they are trying to fix or repair things here with you, and here you are like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this, you know? So I do feel like this person will get a little angry and upset with, you know, because of that. But yeah. That is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next